What's going on, guys? Matt over here with Lethal Camaro, and today is kind of a dream day because I get to review or check out a brand new 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE. Now, I know there's been reviews by press, I know there's been stuff out there, but this is the first time that I've gotten to drive one, and I want to tell you guys the differences, what this car's made of, and how it feels on the road, and show you some driving shots of the car. So let's get right on into it. So question is what sets this car apart from the others? And there's quite a few things that GM has done, so let's take a look at them. First and foremost, the ZL1 1LE is a standard ZL1, but the 1LE package changes a lot of it. It puts on a full brand new Aero kit, changes the suspension up, get new wheels and tires. You obviously get a matte black hood, a new wing, part of that Aero package, and the Multimatic dampeners, which is part of the suspension change. You get adjustable stab bars in the rear, adjustable camber plates, all sorts of goodies. But what all makes that special? Well, this car is built for the track, but it's a luxury track car. It is a ZL1, so you get your Alcantara Recaro seats, you get heated and vented seats, you get all of the goodies, the stereo, the everything. This car is fully loaded so you can enjoy your time on the track. Now, one of the most impressive things on this car has to be the front end. If you look at the front end, you do get some dive planes on the front, or some people call them canards. You do get a way more aggressive center grille that's all focused on driving air to the right areas of the vehicle, and a secondary custom lip down below with extra, I don't know the technical term, but side fins on the splitter, again, all focused on providing downforce on the car to provide better track capability. Now, it does come with the flow tie that was introduced with the Z28, and that product there carried over into the 6th gen ZL1 and the ZL1 1LE. But outside of that, it's still very much a base ZL1. But again, the big things that make this car special are the Aero package, the Multimatic dampeners. They're hard mounted. Again, the adjustable stab bars, the adjustable camber plates, and it just really makes it so you can take this car from being a street time cruiser to a brute on the track to literally one of the fastest and best performing cars on the track to date in the world, swinging its weight around with cars that are 2, 3, 4 times its price point. It's crazy. Now, the wing is a full carbon fiber wing. If you can see, it is early in the morning, so trying to get a good view at it, but it is a full carbon fiber wing. It's hard, it's bolted to the trunk, but we believe that these are hard resin coated together, so there's no bolts holding the end pieces on, and there's no bolts holding the 2 big rear stanchions, but the center one does have a bolt, which is odd. So there's one bolt, the rest seem like it's a resin or some sort of hard substance holding it in place. You do get the full blackout taillights and the blackout centered third light, and yeah, outside of that, you do get the standard Brembo 6-piston front brakes, but the biggest change here is the brand new Goodyear tires that GM worked with Goodyear on. I believe these are the Eagle F1 3Rs. So this is a brand new tire for Goodyear coming out. It's probably one of the stickiest tires. You can see your beautiful gravel stuck to it. They track and have really good traction, but it is a 19-inch rim versus the 20-inch rim that you see on the car. So the brakes and the rotors look like they're massive inside that wheel well, but it's because it's a 19-inch, and they were able to stuff a 305 up front and a 325 in the rear. Now, they do stick out a little bit. Do remember the ZL1 is an inch wider car in the front. They did that mainly to stuff in the 285s that are on the stock ZL1, but these tires do stick out a little bit, especially those 325s in the rear. You can just see how much tire is sticking out there. And if you go from a top-down view, you can clearly see the tires sticking out in the rear view. So if I had this car to be a nice human being, I would put rock guards on it to make sure I'm not throwing rocks at like another beautiful Camaro there. But that's enough about the car walking around. I mean, if you guys don't know a ZL1, let's do a quick overview of the interior. Again, you do get the Recaros, and because it's a ZL1, they're heated and vented. You do get the PDR, which is an option, so this car has PDR on it. This car is only built as a manual. It's the 6-speed. I believe it's the T6060. I could be incorrect, but I believe it's the T6060. And because it's a fully loaded car, you do get the Bose surround sound. You do get the Alcantara. You do get just all the greatness. Alcantara steering wheel, shift knob. You get the front plate. Now, they do offer this with a carbon fiber dash. This one doesn't have that. That's basically the only thing this car doesn't have right now. But outside of that, dual zone. I already said heated and vented seats. The other side of it is it's a ZL1, so it comes with line lock. You get the electronic slip differential. There's all sorts of cool stuff that come with this car. You do get the different track modes, so it does have the mode selector. You can turn on and off your multiple different types of traction control and StabiliTrak. You can go in comp mode. There's a lot of things to do, but let's jump into the car and check it out and see how she performs. So this car, it's a manual, feels really good. Again, the Alcantara steering. We did get to drive this car a little bit yesterday. We didn't put 40 miles on it, but it has 40 miles total on it. And really, we just kind of got to take off and see what we can do, right? I'm so nervous driving this car, though. So driving wise, the car feels really good shifting. Again, it is a brand new clutch. It's a little tricky. But on that note, the car rides a lot rougher. So as you guys know, my car is a 2SS. I've driven in a 1LE. But man, this thing has power. And hopefully brakes to go along with it. God, this car feels so good to drive. It's almost unfair. It truly is. Missed that one. Fifth. So I've done this quite a few times since I've been driving it yesterday. I'm hitting second and I'm going to third, and instead of third I'm going to fifth because the gears are just really close together on here, and that's not a bad thing. It feels good. I'm just not hugging second enough. I'm just a terrible manual driver. Oh, we good. Ooh, second. Dang it! Why does that have to be a red light? Handles so nice. See how this bad boy takes a turn, huh? Scared that lady. I kind of got off it. I don't want her dog to freak out. So, if you guys don't know, this car is owned by ZL1 Add-ons. John at ZL1 Add-ons purchased this car yesterday and basically handed me the keys and said, have fun with a review. And in that, this isn't a press car, this isn't a review car, this is someone's brand new car that they have not even driven yet. And so I'm like really nervous and scared to not going over 4,000 RPM. Not using like the cruise control and stuff like that, just keeping it really let's take a turn. So I can't really go too fast around city streets, but this heart does not want to leave the road. Like it doesn't. These tires are amazing. It grips. It goes into a corner. It feels so good going into a corner. I mean, my car does not feel like this going into the corner. Maybe it's because of the seats. And I can't wait to get ZL1 style seats in my car, because this thing, and I know Kyle can contest, like, you just don't move. It just hugs you. It feels so good. But yeah, yeah. So if you guys recall, there was a beautiful sweeper that we took in my 1LE review for the SS 1LE. Let's head over there and see how this car handles on a wide sweeper cutting across. So what do we take that turn at comfortably?
I have no idea.
What do you think?
No idea.
I've taken it in my car at 90. I don't think I'll do it in this car. As much as this car will handle that corner, I don't know if I feel that confident in my driving skills with this car. I don't know really what else to say, guys. Like, this car is literally a dream to drive. Like, being able to drive one of these cars at all was something I never assumed would happen. Like, some of you guys may have followed me coming into Camaro Fest and got to see that I got to ride in one.
Traction control again.
I'm a slow shifter. I'm not super fast. I could drive a manual. I will never say I'm a professional manual driver. And I'm not a race car driver, so leave me alone.
Brakes.
Now, I will say the supercharger has a very nice whine to it. So if you guys don't know, this is a posi style. Now, a lot of people yell at me when I call them a root style, but they did derive from a root style supercharger. But it is a posi displacement supercharger. I believe Eaton is the company that makes it. I could be wrong. It's a little bit smaller of a supercharger. I mean, but it makes power, and it sounds pretty dang good. Wanted to go into fifth. Oh, there's a police officer. 2 police officers.
Yeah, not rolling this one.
Yeah, no.
It appears the law has found us. Gregory. Oh, broke his neck. Oh, that guy doesn't care.
Get my cooled seats on. I'm getting a little hot and bothered because it's so awesome. I don't know what else to say, guys. This car is just, it's an amazing machine. GM has done something special here. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Camaro fan, because I've driven a GT 350 and I thought that car was amazing, but this car is something else. Like, seriously, like, I can't explain it. Okay guys, so we went for a drive. We got to see some really good shots of the car. Just to wrap up here, this is a brand new 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE. The owner is John from ZL1 Add-ons, so if you guys want to see this car more often, look at the ZL1 Add-ons account on Instagram. or potential other videos on my channel. But this thing is brand new, right off the showroom floor yesterday. It has, I don't know how many miles we just put on it, but it was 40 miles on the odometer when we left my house this morning. And this car's a monster. Now, no, we did not take it to a track to really see its full prowess. Again, this car is not, it's in its break-in period, so we can't really do too much crazy driving. John told me to drive it like I stole it. I told him I'm nervous as heck to drive it, and I'm still nervous as heck to drive it, and that's why I'm staying away from densely populated areas, because I would feel like a complete jerk if someone like hit me or if I lost control of the car. Like, I'm not driving like an idiot, but I get really nervous when people ask me to drive their cars. I don't know, it's one of these things against, like, I haven't done it very often, and you can even ask Kyle. I don't drive many people's cars after they tell me to drive them. Yeah, it took him a long time to finally get me to drive his car, and that was where kind of the stipulation of, oh, Lethal Camaro doesn't know how to drive a stick, because I kept telling him no, and that had nothing really to do with it. But that's for a story for another day. But this car is something GM should be proud of. I'm proud to know that GM spent the time, spent the money to put this thing together. Now, I will say there's one thing on this car that I dislike. And I'm not going to create like 10 videos talking about, oh, 10 things I hate about the ZL1 1LE. I mean, I could do that, but that's not my style. I did it for my SS because I felt there was things that I wanted to talk about on this car. It's still very much my base Camaro with just a bigger motor and Aero package and suspension. So there's not much to complain about. Now, this is a track car. The suspension is bumpy. You're going to feel the road in this more so than any other car. Is it as bad as a Viper? No. Does it ride smooth? I would still say it rides pretty smooth. Would you do this as a daily driver and drive a couple 100 miles a day? Probably not. Outside of that, I have one gripe about the car, and it's literally a subjective opinion, but I want to voice it because I'm just not a fan of them. But the dive planes, or people call them canards. I am not a fan of their look. It kind of creates a double look. I understand the functionality and why they're on the car and how they work, but it's just like, I mean, I get why they're needed, but this car, in my personal opinion, it's completely subjective. So again, GM, Lethal family, don't judge me on this. I just don't like them. I don't. So, and it's hard to focus on a subjective thing, and I'm not going to knock anything out of this review out of that, but that's just a personal preference. I do think the wing looks amazing. Now, early on, because I'm a Psycho Camaro fan and I follow all the spy shots and everything, early on there was a lower profile splitter that showed up. Unfortunately, that was just a prototype. That wing was not seeing any functionality whatsoever, so they scrapped it. I would love for this wing to become available in the same height as the stock ZL1 for style purposes. Now, GM balked at me at Camaro Fest when I was asking about that. They're just like, why would you want a style thing on a car that's a track car? And I get it, and I agreed with their statement 100%. But you know what? I don't drive the track every day. I don't really like the shopping cart look. Now, this has totally grown on me on the ZL1 1LE. I was not a fan of it at first with how high it is, but seeing it in person versus pictures, holy crap, is it sexy as hell. I don't know if I have other words for that. I mean, let's go look at it. Let's quick gander. I mean, this thing, it looks so good, especially in the carbon fiber. I mean, it does sit tall, but I wouldn't call this the riciest of spoilers out there. It's clean. It follows the body lines of the car. You can even see that they even have it coming at an angle to match the body of the haunch. Like, it is so smooth. They really took their time in designing this. Now, again, this is the carbon fiber. They also offer this in that matte black that's in the ZL1 blade spoiler for the SS. I honestly like that one better than this one. I mean, it's again subjective. Carbon fiber is beautiful on the car. It deserves to be on there. But I like the more cleaner look. I don't have carbon fiber anywhere else on my car. So, but this matches because the hood insert's carbon fiber. So there's a good reason to have it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let you guys tell me what you think of it. But outside of that, these Goodyear 3s, they're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're the best on the road, but they're pretty good. Now, we haven't really driven the car in a sense to where the tires were so hot that it was like, oh my God, we're really seeing it. And again, we haven't pushed the car to the limits. So it's a brand new car. We're breaking it in. So I could change an opinion on these 3Rs, but they do feel good even at low speeds. They feel good even in the morning. They weren't too slippery this morning when they were cold. And as they warmed up, it felt really good. Coming around those corners, it felt really good. And gosh dang it, I love these Recaros. I can't say that enough. I really can't. I need these in my car. I mean, if I had to sell my car and this was the only way to get them, I would do it. These seats are amazing. I love it. So good job, Recaro. Good job, GM. This car is just a brute. It's a beast. Actually, I didn't even pop the hood. I made the assumption when we were talking earlier in the video that you all knew what a ZL1 was. But if you're not familiar, this car does come with the LT4 Powerplant. It is a supercharged, has 650 horsepower, 650 torque. Now that's at the crank. More torque, you know, it's a lot less at the wheels, but this is the Z06 Powerplant, but it's been upgraded for the ZL1. They've taken some of their learnings, applied it here. This car has tons of cooling. This car has been beaten and battered by other reviewers in the worst conditions, and they have not been able to get this car to overheat. So GM has done a very good job cooling this car. Obviously it breathes a lot better in the front than a Corvette does, and you can even see in the spy shots of the ZR1 they've added a lot of cooling to this car. But this is a brute stout motor. It's fully forged, so taking it to the next level and adding more power to this is not going to be difficult. GM is a firm believer. There is nothing you can do to this car to make it better. I think there's something you can do to make it better, and that's the sound. I'll dock them points on that. The stock ZL1 and the stock SS, I just feel their exhaust, and again, it's completely subjective. I know a lot of people who think it sounds perfectly fine, but I think it can use a little deeper grumble and a little bit more loudness. Now, obviously they're catering this car to a large demographic of people, some people who don't like the crazy sounding motors and other people who do. I just say, guys, this is a sports muscle car. Screw those people, make it loud. That's just me. But yes, so the other side of it is, again, the Camaro, the new 6th gen Camaro is built on the Alpha platform, just like the Cadillac. It has the full drivetrain of the Corvette, and it's just an amazing ride. So another thing I did want to highlight in driving this car, and again, not many people will probably get to drive one, but I've noticed with the dive planes, there is an airflow sound that happens. And at first, Kyle, who's cruising around with me most of the time, he thought it was a tire thing, and I'm like, that is not a tire sound. There's just no way. And what we found is the air coming off the dive planes actually comes up and over. In here, I'll show you. So the wind is coming off the dive plane, it's coming up and over, and it's hitting like this mirror. And I found out if I put my fist out the window, the sound goes away, but it's, I can't even describe the sound. Maybe we could drive around and see if we can catch it. But there's definitely a sound from the wind. And again, I could be wrong. It might not be coming from the dive plane, but something is happening airflow wise that hits this side mirror and causes an awkward sound. So no, your car's not broken. It's just something that's happening. So those of you out there that have a ZL1 1LE. But there you have it, guys. Yeah. That is a ZL1 1LE 2018 Camaro. This thing is a monster. The numbers prove it. The GM's posted numbers at the ring. They've posted numbers at many different tracks, and this car throws down. Now, it does have an unofficial time of 7 minutes and 13 seconds on the ring. Official time, 7 minutes, 16 seconds. Doesn't even matter. It's above the top 20. It's punching in a weight class above its price range. I don't know how GM did it. Well, I do know. They have an amazing group of engineers that will not let down performance, and I love all of you guys over there. If you guys watch this video, thank you for working so hard. Thank you for pushing the limits on these cars. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Same thing with Ford, and I'll just throw this out if there's any Ford guys watching. The GT350R is an amazing ride. The GT500's coming. I can only hope that it is good, maybe even better than this car, because if it is, we are all winners, 100%. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for joining me in this full review of the ZL1 1LE. Thank you, John. Huge shout out to ZL1 add-ons. If you guys don't know ZL1 add-ons, they make tow hooks, they make rock guards, they make wicker bills, they make bolt-on jack points. John makes products that are far superior than anything I've seen out there. and he never stops. He's always looking for ways to make his products better. His wicker bills are a great testament to that. The new ones, you'll see a video on my channel coming soon on that, but awesome. Thank you, John, for handing me the keys to your brand new car. You have no idea what a schoolgirl you've turned me into. I'm speechless. I really am. Like, you guys saw me be able to ride in one at Camaro Fest. If you didn't see that video, right hand corner, but I got to drive one. Guys, I got to drive. Not only did I get to drive it, it's been in my garage for 2 days now, and I still get to keep it for a couple more days, and I'm gonna be driving it. I'm sorry, maybe too much fanboyism coming through, but holy crap, I got to drive a ZL1 LE, and I'm honored. Again, thank you, John. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed the content, smash that subscribe button. If not, likes, comments, shares are appreciated. Even those dislikes, even if you hated this video, I still appreciate you taking the time to at least marking something on the channel. Let me know you're breathing. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for watching. And if I don't see you in the next video, I do hope to see you on the road. We took that nicely. But this car didn't even flinch. Like on a corner like that, going as fast as we were, this car was just like,
Whatever, you little slow drivers.
Yeah,
you guys are chicken.
learn how to drive me, please. Come on.